All right, guys, what is going on? We are ready for part 2 of the epic 2020 Evil Offering bike build video series. If you didn't watch the previous video, I'll go ahead and link it somewhere above here. Now today, I'm feeling like I'm kind of tired of clamping down on the carbon top tube here. So I'd really like to get the seat in, but in order to do that, I've got to get some stuff mounted to the bars first. So I think what we're gonna do is go ahead and work on getting some of the brakes and everything paired up right here. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, guys, so whenever I'm doing a build, I've got my trusty parts bin here. So a couple of things I'm gonna need today. We're definitely gonna need the saddle. Definitely gonna wanna grab the brakes, loam lever, which by the way, like seriously, best dropper lever I've ever had. I've had wolf tooth. I've had the Fox stuff, and this thing is just absolutely the best. The rear brake as well. The Fox transfer post, guys, I'm sorry, the packaging is a lie. It is not a fact. It is a performance series, but nonetheless, excellent dropper post. It is a 175, so I'm super excited about that. All right, guys, so we've got everything that we need. We've got the Fox transfer post, the Ergon saddle here. I absolutely love. This is the SM Pro Men's. We've got the PNW loam lever, one of the best levers I've ever used. I do have the mounts for both Icebeck and SRAM, but we're gonna be using SRAM. And then we've of course got our front brake levers, so we're gonna go ahead and I like to mount up the mounting point first. To me, honestly, it just makes it a little bit easier. These are pretty easy to install. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and mount this. You just kind of fit this on, get this in place. I don't have to really tighten that down too much. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure exactly where I want this. I'm gonna mount it on the inner bolt first, and then we'll just kind of make everything, once I'm ready to go with everything, that's when we will go ahead and mount all that up correctly. All right, so for the dropper post, here we are. Nothing too fancy about it. Fox performance stuff, you really can't go wrong. I've had all sorts of dropper posts, and the performance stuff has always worked super well for me. Highly recommend. I've had One Up, I've also had PNW. Fox transfers, they just work. Now, a lot of people ask how these actually get installed. They're actually quite easy, so let me just show you. I think I'm actually missing a part, so I'm gonna go ahead and find that part, and then we'll come right back. All right, we are back. So in order to install a Fox transfer dropper post, you're gonna need this little teeny piece right here that's going to seat inside of this little lever right here, this pulley. You're gonna notice that this will fit right on the inside there, and then we'll feed this wire through and pop it out the other side. Now, what I do know that I am missing is I do need an end cap. It's all these like little details that I think sometimes people get hung up on when they're building a bike, but it always seems to feel like these little details they take the longest. So you feed that through, you'll notice that that thing stops right there. And then what we can do here is we push, this should go, yep, there it is, sits right in there. And then that sits right there. And then what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna push this out just a little bit to give me some more working room. Feed this through, and we also gotta find direction. So this goes forward, which makes sense because the transfer is gonna go in the back there. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm actually not going to install this all the way down because I do wanna leave some space so that I can clamp my work stand to it. It'll make the things just a little bit easier. Tighten this up ever so slightly. Okay, now we've got to mount this up to the actual lever itself. We're gonna bring this clip all the way in so that we do have some cable adjust here. Pop this all the way through just like that. And then this part can be just a little bit tricky. There we go, get it fed through properly. So the goal here is that we wanna get this basically as tight as we possibly can against that. So I'm actually gonna use a pair of pliers here. I'm just gonna use my pair of pliers to pull on one side, and then I'm just gonna go ahead, make sure that that is lined up in the groove, just like that. We're gonna go ahead and tighten that down. There we go. So now what we've got to do is we've got to route this through here. Go ahead and pop this little sucker off. I find it just way easier just to pop the bolt out and then just pop it right back in. And these, you just barely need them to be tight. And go ahead and begin to thread top one. There we go, just bit. And then we'll go ahead and line this up. The bottom one's always harder because it hits the caliper on this. Very nice. So now what we've got to do is just tighten these babies down. All right. Now, pro tip, A lot of people get cable rub right where this cable hits the fork lower. I like to put a piece of protective tape on here. Since I'm not 100% convinced that I'm actually going to be keeping this fork, I don't think I'm going to do that quite yet. So we're going to hold off on that, but that is just a really good thing to go ahead and do. I think now is just a really good time to go ahead and mount this up. There's really no reason not to do it. All right, there we go. I'll move it down like this because I am super excited. We have got Eagle AXS. So what's really exciting about this is I don't have to route anything through anything, which is nice because you'll notice in the Eagle following, the dropper cable is routed internally, but the rear brake line and the rear derailleur are going to be routed externally. So that's not cool. I don't like that. But nonetheless, I don't have to do that because I have access. And so we are going to go ahead and mount this up. Man, this thing just looks so good, you guys. I mean, this is just really is a dream come true for me. Very, very, very cool. Alrighty, guys, go ahead and not rotate that when we've got that locked in there. Okay, and last but not least for today, I think what we're gonna do is focus on the seat, and that way we've got quite a bit of our cockpit all taken care of. We'll kind of end the video there. With these, this actually is fairly new to me. This is a newer version of a transfer that I've had in the past, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I really think they've... Yeah, that is really cool. That is very innovative how they've got these rails set up. Really nice because you can just pop those out. This goes on top. Wow, that is a lot easier than I have experienced in the past. That's incredible. I just want to check to make sure that that's fitting correctly. Okay. And then that slides out. And that slides in just like that. Wow, that is really easy. Kudos to whatever engineer at Fox thought about this unique system. I really like that. That is incredible. All right, now, of course, like I said, we'll get everything kind of buttoned up, squared away in just a second here. But, all right, guys. So that's going to wrap up the video today. We got our seat on, seat post in, dropper lever with the cable run, front brake mounted, did a little bit of damage to the carbon bar, not super stoked about that. Rear brake on, SRAM AXS controller. So yeah, that's gonna be the build for today. So guys, until next time, stay safe, ride happy, you.